Welcome back, guys. We're going to be starting our next unit, which is Unit 7, Freedom or Fear. And within this unit, we are going to be studying World War II and specifically how World War II affects America. So, really, what this video, the purpose of it is to kind of talk about what you guys can expect in terms of what our test is going to be for this unit and project, and how you'll be graded on that, as well as just a couple reminders as it looks like we're going to be doing distance learning for the remainder of the year. So, to get us kind of started here, how you will be tested this unit. We actually have two different types of tests. So the first one is going to be a vocabulary quiz, almost identical in its format to what you just completed. So you will be expecting a vocabulary quiz that'll be open starting on May 1st, which is a Friday, and it'll be open all weekend until Monday, May 4th. So this is going to be obviously in the next 2 weeks, but still, you should be studying your vocabulary as we work through our daily unit plans and as you learn that vocabulary on your side. So, what you can expect, there are 20 vocabulary words for this unit, which means that you will have 20 multiple choice questions. And then, just like you have completed recently, you will also have two short answer questions that I will specifically ask you to use your vocabulary words or knowledge to apply. So, just a couple quick reminders, okay? The code for accessing the quiz, same as what you just completed, the code will be available on our weekly schedule. So if you're emailing me and you're asking, or letting me know that there is a code needed, I know that. I created it. And the code is completely available to you. You just have to go to your weekly schedule, which is what you should be doing anyway throughout this whole distance learning experience. So, just a quick reminder, codes available in our weekly schedule. Okay, the other thing is that I will also be posting a study guide with the vocabulary and definitions, same as last unit, that'll also be available on our weekly schedule all the way up until the test. So it'll be on this week's schedule, it'll be on next week's schedule, all the way up until May 1st. So that way you have access to seeing not only the vocabulary words ahead of time, but also so that you can take a look at their definitions and start working on a way to remember what they mean and start applying them as we work through our content. So, first thing, vocabulary quiz. The second way that you will be assessed for this unit is you are going to be writing a letter. And so this is an imaginative or a creative writing assessment. The prompt is that you'll be writing a letter to either a loved one or a friend, and you're pretending to be an American living through the years of World War II. So, with that in mind, I'm really leaving this open to you. I want you to be creative. I want you to take an opportunity to try and tell a story. And so some characters that I have thought of, but are you're certainly not limited to in terms of choice. We have a woman working on the home front, so this could be a woman who is a stay-at-home mother and she's a wife, and maybe she's taking care of either younger siblings or taking care of her own kids while her husband is off fighting World War II. So you could write a letter from her perspective, what the war is like for a woman on the home front. You could also take on the perspective of a woman who is now working in a factory and taking on a job that maybe had previously belonged to a man, but that is now fighting in World War II. And so we have many women that start doing really hard labor factory work at this point in time. Maybe you write from the perspective of a working woman in the 1940s. Another idea is you could be a combat nurse or doctor, somebody who's experiencing kind of the medical side of the war in terms of their experiences, in terms of the situations that they're having to deal with. You could be a soldier. My hint to you is if you do decide to write a letter from the perspective of a soldier, you do want to be sure to look up what battles American soldiers were actually involved in, because we do want to keep this historically accurate. And so, if you're going to be referring to specific battles or locations, you want to be sure that American troops were at that location or at that battle. Another idea is you could write from the perspective of a Japanese American citizen in an internment camp. And so this is going to be one of the topics that we talk about in this unit. You could write about that potential experience, what it was like for somebody to live through that time in American history, being within an internment camp. In addition to that, potentially you could write from the perspective of American, either pilot or scientist who was involved with the atomic bomb. And so this way you could take a lot of different directions. If you're very interested in science and chemistry and the history behind things such as nuclear weapons, maybe you pretend to be a scientist writing a letter to a friend or a loved one regarding the atomic bomb. But also, we have soldiers and pilots who are involved in the dropping of the bomb. And so maybe you write from the perspective of knowing that you have this task, and potentially how you feel about that or what the process of it is. So, again, you're not limited to these as ideas, they are just some character options. So, if you thought of something else and you want to shoot me an email, please do so. I would love to hear if you had any other ideas. I want you to be creative. I want you to tell a story in this letter. I'll be posting specific directions and requirements that will be located on a tab labeled Unit 7 Letter Writing Summative. That way, you have a really straightforward list of requirements for this letter and what you should be expecting to do. So, two assessments. We have vocabulary quiz that is going to be open from May 1st to May 4th. And then we have a letter writing summative that is due on May 4th. Okay, it'll be open to submit if you finish this early, but all final submissions should be in by May 4th. That's going to be on a Monday. All right, so lastly, I just have some important reminders for distance learning, especially because it sounds like and looks like we're going to be within this situation for the remainder of the year. So, just as a kind of quick reminder, our weekly schedule is where everything is located. I mean, everything, everything. So, what does that include? Okay. It includes our assignments, directions, resources, conference times. If I have specific conference times open that I want to have Google Meets or talk with you guys, it's going to be located in our weekly schedule. Our codes for quizzes are also going to be in the weekly schedule. Due dates for any upcoming assignments or assessments will be located in the weekly schedule. Any important messages or reminders that you might need are going to be in the weekly schedule. Basically everything, okay? And so your number one thought anytime you think about doing US history work is, I need to go to the weekly schedule, because that is where you will know exactly what you need to accomplish either for the day or for the week. Everything will be located in that specific spot, okay? So that's everything, right? If I receive an email that asks me where you can find something, most of the time, I'd say like 99.9% of the time, I'm going to say, take a look at the weekly schedule. Another thing is, please email me if you do have any questions, either about our assignments or kind of just whatever's going on in our class. I'm your teacher. I'm here to support you. I'm here to be your resource if you're struggling through our content. I'm also just here as somebody that you can talk to. These are really weird times that we're living in. And it's really a struggle for many of us. So if you just need somebody to vent to or to talk about how your school experience is going, or even just how life is, I am absolutely here for you as a supporter and a cheerleader. I know you guys can do this, but sometimes we all need a little encouragement. So I'm happy to do that for you. Lastly, just a reminder to turn on your Canvas notifications. Many of you, before we left for the whole year, I said, download the Canvas app on your phone. I can't stress that enough. If you can, download the Canvas app on your phone. It's an easy way to have access to our information quickly. But also, if you don't have it on your phone, please be checking Canvas announcements regularly just to see if there's anything that you're either missing or if there's any time sensitive important messages. So, with that being said, I'm going to make this a little bigger. With that being said, I really miss you guys. I hope that this experience is both interesting and that you're learning from it and you're growing stronger because of it. We're going to get through this together, and I can't wait to see you either through our Google Meets or when we return to school next year. So we'll talk to you later. Please, if you have any questions regarding this unit, reach out to me. I am here for you.